sponsors ITV National Weather.
The man spoke his last words to you. That's a bond.
Why didn't they ask Evans?
What does that mean?
I don't know. You caused quite a stir in the village.
That's how I like my villagers.
I want to help.
It's too late.
Why didn't they ask Evans? Streaming now, only on BritBox.
D.I. Ray will be heading up him and Aziz's murder as it's a CSH.
Sorry, Mum, I'm not familiar with that term.
We are now referring to these types of crimes as culturally specific homicides.
So it wasn't them, Mum.
You better make sure you find him and Aziz's killer.
This is serious. They could have killed you. No case is worth jeopardizing your safety.
New thriller, D.I. Ray, starts Monday the 2nd of May on ITV and ITV Hub.
Police!
I'll leave that one for you to work out, shall I?
For every case,
Stop, police!
there's one solution.
Well, how have they done that then?
Uncover a world of great British crime box sets.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Streaming now on BritBox.
Standby credit and live from Television Centre in London. This is Good Morning Britain with Susanna Reid and Ben Shepherd. And Q.
Starting with camera 3, go for music, 2, 1, and cue the rain.
Hello everyone, film with titles line D. Going to camera 3 for a wide, Philip and Holly on 2 for the opening chat. Go to...
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to... Go for music, starting with camera 3, 3, 2, 1,
And Q.
Every day from every angle. Weekdays on ITV Daytime.
The next dance is about to begin.
I am besieged by fortune hunters.
Perhaps you can remind me how to hold a conversation.
I thought you had employed me to teach the girls, Mr. Colburn. Not you.
Who would like a ride to the skies?
I'm not standing in a basket.
You are quite unlike any woman I've ever met.
Sanditon. New episodes streaming every Monday, only on BritBox.
I'm going to fake my death. What could be simpler?
Where have you decided to live when it's all calmed down?
Next door! Genius!
What could possibly go wrong?
What the?
An unbelievably true story.
How could our mum let us believe our dad had died when he was very much alive?
What have I done?
The Thief, His Wife and the Canoe. Watch the full series now on ITV Hub or ad-free on BritBox.
Now the headlines where you are, it's the ITV News.
Good evening. Police believe a fire that destroyed a large area of heath in Dorset last night may have been started deliberately, and they're appealing for witnesses. Residents had to be evacuated from their homes as the fire at Canford Heath came within metres of their properties. Today, they told our reporter Heather Edwards they feared they'd lose everything.
Like a scene from a disaster movie, people's homes engulfed in smoke. Because behind, a heath fire is out of control and edging ever closer. Fanned by strong winds, the flames came within metres of people's back gardens. This morning, all that was left was scorched earth. Lisa and Chris Palmer thought that they would lose everything.
We came out here, grabbed the hose, tried to just dampen the fences down and the summer house, if any embers came across, until the point it got about 10 metres from the back garden, and then we just had to leave. I jumped in the car and drove out, but as I drove out I looked back and just saw the big tree behind us just starting to go, and honestly thought we weren't coming home to a house last night.
It was the first time I have felt true intensity of fire and heat. The smoke was to the point of overwhelming.
The fire brigade received a call around 6 o'clock last night and crews were sent to Canford Heath. They'd hoped to be able to contain the fire, but strong winds drove it perilously close to people's homes, and the decision was taken to ask everyone to leave.
So we managed to open up the local leisure centre as a refuge point, so some of the residents, a lot of their pets go into the leisure centre so they can be fed, watered and kept safe. And waiting for the police to update us, which they did brilliantly. There was a police officer there all the time, so the residents knew exactly what was happening, and obviously the community here is amazing.
Throughout the day, the police and fire brigade have been on the scene carrying out a joint investigation as to how the fire may have started.
At the moment, the investigation is still ongoing, but at this time, in my experience, these fires are more likely to be attributed to human intervention. Whether that's by deliberate ignition or not, we don't know, but there's significant potential for reckless acts.
This evening the concern was for wildlife, and the Heathland wardens had been out checking for any animals that may have been injured. Local people had been allowed to return home, all very thankful to the emergency services for stopping the fire just in time. Heather Edwards, ITV News, Canford Heath.
Meanwhile, crews will remain at the scene of a separate fire that raged across Scrubland just outside of Aldershot yesterday. The blaze started just before 11:30 a.m. on the Ash Ranges near Pirbright and spread over 10 kilometres of heath. Crews will remain overnight and into tomorrow, damping down, ensuring the fire doesn't start up again. Families have been celebrating the start of spring at the South of England Showground in Ardingly this weekend. Adults and children alike had the opportunity to meet farm animals, go on fairground rides and feast at hundreds of food stalls. It was the first show of the season put on by the South of England Agricultural Society. More than 8,000 runners were pounding the pavements of Southampton today for the 2022 marathon. The race began just outside the Guildhall, with participants opting to run a 5k, 10k, a half marathon or a full marathon. And the winner of the main race was Chris McGurk, who completed it in just over 2.5 hours.
Oh, it felt fantastic. The crowds were amazing, cheering me on every step of the way. But I'm so tired now. I'm glad to have finished.
And what was your time?
I think it was about 2.5 hours, 2:30, which I'm really pleased with because there's a few hills on that course. Running across the Itchen Bridge was really hard, and we had to do that 4 times. So to do that 4 times and still run a good time, I'm very pleased.
And in football today, Brighton and Hove Albion took on Southampton in the Premier League. Brighton were in the lead at the break. However, Saints managed to salvage a point thanks to 2 goals from James Ward-Prowse. It brings the Saints to within a point of the Seagulls in the table. Well, let's take a look at the weather now with Philippa Drew.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello again. Well, we've rounded off the weekend on a fairly quiet note and more of the same to come for the week ahead. A lot of dry weather in the forecast, some decent sunny spells, but also some chilly nights to come our way. Perhaps the return even of some overnight frosts too. All thanks to high pressure, of course. It currently sits up towards the north of the UK, but over the next few days it will sink its way southwards, become increasingly well established across the UK as we head through the new week, bringing settled conditions, but also those chilly nights as well. Out there at the moment, it stays dry. We're going to be looking at largely clear skies for some of us overnight, and underneath the clearer skies, temperatures will fall away down to around 3 or 4 Celsius in some towns and cities, lower still in rural spots, and that in turn could give rise to the odd patch of grass frost by dawn. A fresh start to the new week then, but a bright start, some lovely sunny spells to kick off the day. As we head into the afternoon, we'll see a bit more cloud bubbling up, that in turn producing 1 or 2 showers, but they will be fairly well scattered and pretty fleeting if you do catch one. Still some decent sunny spells in between, but temperatures a little cooler than they have been today. Bye-bye.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Well, that's it from the weekend team. We're back with Good Morning Britain tomorrow from 6 a.m. A reminder, you can keep up to date with all our headlines on our website, itv.com/meridian. Have a good evening.
tonight we're